Yo, before I start the video, if anyone is living in the year 2125, comment down below what happened. Comment down below how y'all doing. How the future looking? Like it's 100 years from 2025 later. How is the future? Are y'all even alive at that point? 100 years seems it seems like a lot, but when you look in the grand scheme of things, it isn't really a lot. If you get what I mean, especially when you consider the whole grand scheme of things on how long we've been alive. But these are the uh, next 100 years of astronomical events to occur in the next 100 years. I just repeated myself, but let's get to
Over
the
the
video.
next 100 years, there will be plenty of interesting things to see and photograph in the night sky. In this video, I'm going to cover the astronomical events that I am the most excited about as a full-time astrophotographer. First up, later this year, we may get the chance to see and photograph a very special comet. It's an interstellar comet, meaning one that came from a different star system. It has the name 3I Atlas. 3I is short for
From
the
a
third
different star
interstellar
system.
object discovered, and Atlas is the project that discovered it. Atlas is our early warning system for finding objects, space objects like asteroids that could potentially impact Earth.
Bro,
What's really
that's
cool about
it's crazy to think about the possibilities of that actually happen. Like an asteroid from outer space can legit target Earth and come to hit us, and we couldn't even do anything about it. Like that's how vulnerable we are. But it hasn't happened. It hasn't
3I
happened at
Atlas
all.
is we found it quite early compared to the first two
At least
interstellar
of yet.
objects, and this will give astronomers
At
more
least you
time
believe about.
to
I think people do believe it. The Earth did get hit by a meteor at one point to wipe out the whole dinosaur. Besides that event, bro, it hasn't happened as of recently.
photograph it and hopefully understand more about it. And I'm personally excited for later this year because the comet will be much closer to the sun, making it brighter. It should be brightest in late October, but for me here in New Hampshire,
How close is it gonna
looks
hit?
like the best
How
time
close is
to
it gonna
try
get to Earth?
photograph it will be the early mornings around November's new moon,
Oh, that's
which is
this
on
month.
November 20th, 2025. At this time for me, the comet's going to be rising around 2:30 a.m. in the east, and it's predicted to be around magnitude 10.8. If that prediction holds, it will be visible with binoculars or a telescope, and definitely possible to photograph it with amateur equipment. Next year, on August 12th, 2026, we'll have the first total solar eclipse since the one on April 8th, 2024, which went through the US, and I was able to capture close to home here in
My thing is, what is wrong with solar eclipse, bro? I swear, like every time it happens, it's like people be saying on the internet, this is a once in a lifetime experience. Once every 100 years, once every 50 years. You won't experience another solar eclipse until 50 years from now. Like especially that all happened. The first solar eclipse I remember is 2017. 2017, and everyone was saying it was once in a lifetime opportunity. Ever since, we had about two more eclipses. Now we have another one coming up.
Vermont.
Like those solar
Total solar
eclipses are
eclipses
apparently not that
definitely
rare
worth
anymore.
traveling to see, and for the 2026 total solar eclipse, I plan to view it from a boat in the North Atlantic Ocean. But the path
Like
of
I thought it
totality
was
for
supposed
this
to be
eclipse will
something
also
rare that
go
happened
through
every 50
Spain
years,
and
but
Iceland
it's
if you want to
happening
be on
every
land. The
few
totality
years.
period for the 2026 eclipse is fairly short, with a maximum duration of 2 minutes 18 seconds from the optimal spot in Iceland. However, 1 year later, on August 2nd, 2027, we'll have the longest total solar eclipse for the rest of the century at 6 minutes 23 seconds from the optimal spot. And that optimal spot where you can get a 6-minute 23-second totality is the ancient city of Luxor in Egypt. So, of course, there are already many tours fully booked headed to Egypt to see this eclipse. There may be still tours available. I do still see them being advertised. Other than Egypt, the path of totality for this eclipse will go through southern Spain,
Bro, I don't need
Morocco,
a. I need.
Algeria, Tunisia, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen.
Damn.
Okay, we've done the next
I don't
two
need a book of
total
flight to
solar
Egypt to
eclipses,
see
and
the
after
world get
these
dark. I
next
could just
two,
wait at
there are
night.
68
I could just
more
wait until it
in
gets
the
night.
next 100 years. And I could go through all of them, because for me, total solar eclipses are the ultimate astronomical event to witness. So any of these eclipses would be worth traveling to see. But let me just quickly mention the very next one after 2027, which is on July 22nd, 2028. This one starts in the Indian Ocean,
Bro, I swear
going
there's
through
like
some small
millions
islands,
and millions
then
of
a
different
very
eclipses.
nice path through
Like
Australia
I used to think
and New
this was
Zealand.
rare.
And two
You're
things
telling
to
me
say
it's
about this
happening
one.
every year?
One, there's a very high likelihood for clear skies, especially in Australia, which is always something to consider with an eclipse trip. And two, this eclipse goes right through the biggest city in Australia, Sydney, and totality will last almost 4 minutes in Sydney. Okay, moving on to April 13th, 2029. On this day, we will have the closest known pass of a city killer-sized asteroid. This
Whoa.
asteroid is named Apophis, and it will not impact the Earth, but it will come closer to us than our geostationary satellites in orbit. Astronomers at the European Space Agency have calculated an asteroid this big only gets this close to Earth about every 5 to 10,000 years. It is predicted to be a naked eye object if you're in the right place on Earth with clear, fairly dark skies. So if you want to see this one, it looks like the best place to view it will be this area of the world. This one won't be spectacular to witness like a total.
Bro, can like America, like North America and South America, can we not get anything cool? Like it's always you have to go to travel to Asia or Europe or like Australia. Like can you not just see an amazing space event in North America or South America? Like
Eclipse,
why?
it'll basically just look like a satellite. But if you want bragging rights to say you saw Apophis naked eye, you will have that opportunity in 2029. And you could photograph it, but it won't be that interesting as it'll only be 2 arc seconds across at closest pass. So even with a big amateur telescope, you won't really resolve any detail of the asteroid. Okay, taking a bigger jump in time now to 2034 and 2035, we have a prediction for a meteor storm with a number of possible outbursts from the annual Leonids meteor shower predicted. This one is not as certain as the other events I've covered so far, but our yearly meteor showers will sometimes have outbursts as a more dense area of the comet debris stream hits the Earth's atmosphere, causing all the meteors. And in 1833, for example, the Leonids put on a spectacular
That
show.
looks beautiful.
It's estimated that 100,000 meteors per hour, or 27 meteors per second, could be seen on the night of November 12, 1833 from North America. The meteor storms in November 2034 and November 2035 probably won't be anywhere near that, but even seeing several
I was
hundred
only like a few hundred years late, bro.
meteors per hour will be pretty awesome, considering the Leonids typically only produces about 15 visible meteors per hour on a normal year. Okay, jumping ahead quite a bit to 2061, we'll have the return of Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet is a very special comet as its period is pretty short for a comet. Halley's Comet returns for a close pass approximately every 75 years. The last pass in 1986 wasn't a good one as the sun was in the way most of the time, but in 2061 it will be on the same side of the sun as the Earth.
Damn, 2061.
So we should be able to see it much better. And so if you're still alive in the summer of 2061, you'll definitely want to look for this comet, which has a very long recorded history of observation dating back to 240 BC when it was first seen by Chinese astronomers, at least in written history. The final couple events I'll talk about are rare planetary occultations, when one planet
Planetary
transits in front of another
occultation.
from our point of view.
I'm
And
legit
two that
learning
caught my
new
eye
words
will
every
take
single
place
day.
in 2079 and 2123. And I actually found
Damn, yeah, we're not gonna be alive for this shit. Yo, maybe this, but yeah, it's ups.
these in an article in an old issue of Sky and Telescope from 1979 and found that the calculations that Stephen Albers made using a program he wrote on punch cards were still right on. Today, we can, of course, visualize these things with a free software called Stellarium. In 2079, on August 11th at 0130 Universal Time, it will be an occultation of Mercury and Mars, with Mercury completely covering Mars, and it will take place over about 2.5 minutes. This one will be visible on the eastern horizon just before sunrise from much of the Middle East. Turkey, for instance, would be a great place to catch this event. And you would want a telescope to see it, as Mars and Mercury have a pretty small apparent size, so you would need some good magnification to see this one. Okay, and our final event to round this out, if you happen to be alive in 2123, which I probably won't be, there is another neat planetary occultation, this time between Venus and Jupiter. Using Stellarium, it seems that this one will be visible across most of North and South America as a mid-morning event. So you would be observing it during the day, which means much lower contrast.
the one time you could actually see something cool. I won't even be alive for it, bro. I came too late to witness the meteor showers, and I was born too early to witness Venus and Jupiter, bro. It's like
you're looking through the atmosphere that's lit up by the sun, but I think it should still be possible because it's happening about 18 degrees elongation away from the sun, which should be just enough out of the sun's glare to see and or photograph this with the right telescope and clear, transparent skies. Using Stellarium, it looks like it will take about 15 minutes for Venus to cross the full width of Jupiter, so it's a nice long show for those lucky enough to see it. If this video got you excited about astronomy and astrophotography, but you don't want to wait for these rare events to come about, check out my Patreon, where this month's bonus video covers what to photograph in the night sky over the next few months. I cover both the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere, and include suggestions for beginners and more advanced amateurs alike. To access that,
Yeah. I don't even know what to think. It just sounds like bro. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Let me know what y'all think. And if you're all from the year 20, like I said, 21, 25, 23, yo, let me know how those planetary events happen if you're even still alive. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. I gotta turn off my recording.